Hi guys, so this is not a regular pregnancy vlog, as I'm guessing you've noticed since it is Tuesday, not Friday. This is going to be my story about like life before I got pregnant kind of thing. I just want to start out and say right now that I do not want any negative comments or judgments or hate mail or anything about this. This is my past. It is completely put in my past. I do not do any of these things anymore. When I even thought I might be pregnant, I completely stopped doing any of these things. So I just really want to share kind of my story with you, and that's what I've been making these videos to do, is share my story. And to properly do that, I think you should just hear about kind of my life before I got pregnant. So I'm going to start with, the first time I drank and I smoked weed, I was 13, and that's when I first started. And I think that is way too young. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't have started that young, but at the same time, I would, just because everything that I've been through now has made me who I am today and gotten to me where I am today, and I like that, I like who I am today. So I wasn't, and when I was 13, I wasn't like going out partying every weekend. It was just like every couple months, every few months, I was going to my friend's house, and she had an older sister who was 20, 21, and would buy us alcohol, and we'd get drunk, kind of, smoke weed. That's it. Like in her room, and watch TV. And like even now, that's what we do sometimes. Well, not anymore, obviously, but it's what we did. So I would say the start of this really bad phase that I went through would have to be at the very end of my sophomore year. I was 15, couldn't drive. Obviously, I had my permit, but I couldn't drive. We have this trailer, this fifth wheel trailer, and I would ask to spend the night out there because I could easily sneak out. And my boyfriend at the time, at this time, I wasn't dating him. We had just broken up recently, but since we started dating my freshman year and dated through my sophomore year and broke up towards the end of my sophomore year. And so when I was a freshman and early sophomore, I would sneak out and he would come pick me up. I was 14, he was 16, 15 and 17, But so this one night I invited two of my guy friends over from another school. They brought alcohol, and I had weed, and we were smoking and drinking, and my dad came out to check on me because they had always thought that I was sneaking out. And so obviously I got caught. He took a breathalyzer, and I got in a lot of trouble. I was grounded. This was November 9th because it was my dad's birthday. I remember this. I was grounded from April 9th until pretty much my birthday, which was June 12th. And that's a really long time to be grounded. And, my parents are not perfect. I have never, ever really had a good relationship with them. I'm not sure if I ever really will have a good relationship with them. It's gotten better. I think the majority of the reason it's better now is because I don't see them often. I go to work before they get home from work. I see them on weekends. I'm still hardly ever even home on the weekends. But if I'm with them too long, we fight. And we've just never gotten along and never had a good relationship. And it's mostly because at this time, when I got in trouble, my dad was pissed, and he thought that I didn't appreciate anything, and he made me pay rent, and he made me pay for my food, and I didn't have a job. That's fucked up. I was 15 years old. I didn't have a job. He would drive me he paid for my food at school, so that's pretty much the only time I would eat, or I would like sneak out at night and eat their food. But like, that's fucked up. And I got depressed at this point, and my mom had just had shoulder surgery, and so she was prescribed Percocet, but she didn't like it because it made her itchy. So I took the entire bottle, and I would start taking them every single night, and from there, that kind of started a chain. I would steal any of her pills that I could, any pain medication, any anti-anxiety medications, Valium, took Adderall. I remember one night, this was like probably October, no, I think it was November of last year, so about a year ago, I was grounded again, and I took so much Adderall that I actually had a seizure, and it wasn't like a regular, like where you're shaking seizure. It was in my brain. It affected my brain because I had been up, and it wasn't the Adderall, I don't think. It was just because I stayed up for like 4 days straight, and it just like so went to my brain, and it just made my vision change, and it made voices sound different to me, and it made like touch almost like hurt. When people touched me, it like made my skin tingle so much it kind of hurt. And I looked it up, or I knew about this because my friend is epileptic, and she told me that she'd had seizures like this before. And I forgot what it's called, but it just affects your brain. You don't like shake or anything on the ground. But because this was happening to me, it also caused me to have a super bad anxiety attack, and I'm prone to those pretty easily. I was on the floor crying and freaking out, and I wouldn't let anyone touch me, and my parents were freaking out, and it was just really, really bad. But I didn't stop. I kept taking, every single day, I'd carry with me in my makeup bag like 5 bottles of different kinds of pills, and I would take different ones between each class, and I would, if I even went to class, it was lucky if I went to 1 class a day sometimes. I ditched all my classes, and I would go out with my friends and smoke hookah and smoke weed and get high and drink, and I took alcohol to school with me and would drink alcohol at school, and I would get edibles so I could eat them in class and get high. And I don't think I went to school or was sober for a single day in like 6 months. It was fucked up all the time. And every weekend I was going out and getting blackout drunk by 9:30, 10:30 at night. Every single night. Like, every single weekend, getting so drunk I don't remember the rest of the night. I was a bit of a slut as well. Something that I'm definitely not proud of is I did have a lot of unprotected sex, because I was on all these drugs and I was fucked up, and it was just like, didn't care, I didn't think, I was drunk. I remember one night I actually did have sex with a guy, a stranger that I had just met, and I just met him and didn't even know his name, and I didn't even realize what was happening kind of until it was happening, and then it was just like, well, I'm not gonna back out now, like I might as well just go through with it. And we had unprotected sex, and that's just the stupidest thing you can do. And that's kind of part of the reason I was so shocked when I got pregnant, because when I got pregnant, I was on birth control. And before, I was having sex on a regular basis with no protection whatsoever. And so I don't know, I was just like, I was shocked that I had gotten pregnant on birth control. But anyways, then in December, I was just so depressed and so sick, and I was taking NyQuil because I was sick to sleep at night, but I was taking Ambien, Percocet, whatever, everything still, and I just got so fucked up that I was like unconscious but still conscious, I guess, like still doing stuff, sleepwalking or whatever. I've heard that Ambien can have that effect on you, and the only thing I remember, this was Christmas Eve night. Like, this is worst Christmas ever. I woke up with blood dripping down my arms and a knife in my hand, just covered in blood, and I had blood on my face. And I just like, I was so scared because I didn't remember doing any of that. And I freaked out and I cleaned myself up and I was like crying hysterically and freaking out. And I called my friend Vince, and he was the only one that knew about me doing these pills and stuff. Nobody else knew. Obviously, they knew when I was drinking and smoking because I was doing it with them, but nobody else knew that I had been doing these pills. And he was the only one. And called him freaking out, like, help me, please, like, you need to help me. And he was just like, I can't help you. I'm done with you. You need professional help. Bye. And hung up. And after that, it just kind of like snapped in me. And I was just like, I need to fucking get my shit together. And I need to stop this bullshit. So I threw away all my pills and I stopped completely. Haven't taken any pills except for the Vicodin that I got prescribed recently. And even then, I didn't take them all. I just took them at work a couple times when my back would hurt really bad or if I was having super bad cramping. But that's, since then I have yet to do that, which is really good. I still did drink and smoke, but it wasn't out of control. I wasn't getting blackout drunk. I don't even remember the last time I'd been blackout drunk. It was kind of just more like, hey, you know, I'm 16, I'm 17, I'm a teenager, I'm gonna party, you know? I'm gonna have fun. I also, in January is when I started dating Casey, and he really helped, I think, turn my life around as well. It wasn't, well, he didn't like, he didn't realize he did it, and he just kind of was a part of it because I just was so much happier with him because it was like I had just been in some really shitty relationships, and this was just an actual real relationship. And like Casey, and I've known Casey since I was 12 and 11 even, I think 11 or 12, and like we've always liked each other and had a thing, and it was just like finally, I don't know, a good relationship that I really wanted to be in, and that I loved him already, kinda, you know, I wasn't in love with him yet, but I had already kind of loved him, and so that's good. So I still went out and drank, and I did, I have done shrooms, acid, and Molly, which is ecstasy, but it's cut ecstasy. But I did those just with my friends, like a few of my friends, and at concerts, and it's like, that's not something I'm going to do anymore. There was kind of like a one-time kind of thing, or just kind of like, I don't know. But it's like, I don't do any of that anymore. As soon as I found out that as soon as I thought that I even might be pregnant, I completely stopped doing everything, smoking cigarettes, which I never got addicted to cigarettes or pills, even though I would smoke them every single day and take pills. I would take up to like 8 Percocet a day, and I never got addicted to them, which is really good. Like, I don't even, like, I'm not like, oh man, I really want a cigarette right now. Nothing. I'm completely clean now that I'm pregnant, and that's the way I like it. I like it this way. Before I got pregnant, I was smoking weed every single day still, several times a day, but it was like, I was still doing schoolwork, I was still getting my shit done, going to work, you know, it wasn't really an issue. Being high wasn't even like I was high, it was just kind of normal, but I'm done with that, and I like it. I like the way my life is now. I'm happy with this change. I never expected to get pregnant at 17, but in a way, I guess it's a good thing. I don't want to be like that anymore. So like I said, please, no judgments or anything. I just am trying to share my story with you. And I think that's pretty much it. So that's this week. Is my little in-betweener video or whatever. Next week, since I'll be 10 weeks, I can take those like IntelliGender baby, like guesses your gender urine test, and I'm going to buy one from Babies R Us, and I think I'll do that next week because I really want to do that. So that'll be my little video. I'm going to film it and stuff. And then I think the week after that, I'll do my day in the life of a pregnant teen in the first trimester, since I'm almost out of my first trimester. Thank God, yay. But yeah, so that's all, and I guess I'll see you guys Friday for 10 weeks. Thanks, bye.